Line of Sight is a free-to-play first-person shooter on Steam, and is the beautiful combination of Call of Duty and a more traditional massive multiplayer online game. Not only do the graphics look fantastic, the gunplay AAA level quality, but there's also a ridiculous amount of customization for characters, guns, attachments, abilities, and more. As far as modern military FPSs go, Line of Sight sticks to what works. Guns go pew pew, bit of recoil maybe, and a baddie dies. However, what's interesting and different are the auxiliary abilities. Blink will be your most commonly used and witness skill. Upon activation, your character will teleport a short distance in the direction that you're facing. At a glance, it may seem broken or completely useless, but creative usage can make any soldier an uncatchable and untargetable foe. This level of unpredictability and mobility in an otherwise static FPS changes the entire playing field. Close quarters combat is no longer a deadly game of peekaboo of who has the lowest ping, and mid to long range engagements are now about skill intensive movements and predictions. Well, assuming you have the energy required to pull off such maneuvers. Other skills include a temporary damage reduction and other various forms of vision impairments or enhancements. There's also a second set of more energy expensive abilities that cause actual damage, like a massive fireball or a targeted drone strike. And hey, maybe you just want straightforward gunplay. Well, you can do just that in the classic game modes. But back to Line of Sight's overall gameplay, it just feels so good. They seem to have gone with a more arcadey style of play and presentation. For example, you hardly ever have to wait to get into the fray. Your spawns on generally small maps combined with a very informative radar means action is never more than a few seconds away. Additionally, targets will often be outlined in red, making the kills that much easier to obtain. And when you do eventually take someone down, the game rewards you with an oh so satisfying kill and headshot, kind of like first-person shooter games of old. It's honestly quite surprising such a high-quality modern military FPS could even come out these days that wasn't called Call of Duty or Battlefield, much less be this good and free to play. But wouldn't you know it, Line of Sight has problems. The good news is that the major drawbacks are relatively out of the developer's hands. Simply put, the community sucks. It took something like all of 5 seconds into my first game when a teammate moaned about how hard he had to carry his team and how everyone should just uninstall. That immediate toxicity was not just a one-time affair either. Nearly every single game I've played has someone either complaining or outright spewing obscenities at every opportunity. Sure, you can just hide chat, but where's the fun in that? It's a social game after all. Shouldn't you want to converse or strategize with teammates? Having to permanently disable chat ruins a core part of the identity of an online FPS, and it blows. Not to mention certain game modes like free-for-all are unplayable due to trick shotters. Is that still a thing? I thought the fad about running around with a close quarter sniper died like 8 years ago. Oh, and there's also cheaters and hackers running amok, although it is relatively rare. Aside from the awful people you may run into, I did distinctly dislike a few maps, although I am not sure if they're due to poor map design, not being a map designer myself, or if I just didn't like that style of play. Hint hint, it was the sniper maps. It is worth mentioning a huge drawback of the small maps and fast gameplay means you may very well be killed or in someone's line of sights just as you spawn every once in a while. It happened enough times to annoy me, but not enough times to wish the maps were big enough to slow down the action. Loading up for a game is surprisingly poorly done. There are something like 24 game modes for some reason, and it's not like, oh, okay, I don't like these game modes, I'll just unselect them and never have to worry about it again. Well, great, yeah, that works until the game is closed, which considering this is a short form session playtime game, is going to be often. So every time you load up the game, be prepared to meticulously check and uncheck certain game modes. Like, who wants to play the slow and careful Team Survivor or Search and Destroy in the same game mode playlist as the lightning fast Domination and Team Deathmatch? Sure as hell, not me. And lastly, and quite possibly the most impressive feature of Line of Sight, is in the ridiculous amount of customization. It's a lot to cover, so I'll try to be brief. Essentially, you have a loadout which can take a character, a primary weapon, a sidearm, a knife, a grenade, 2 abilities, and a skill set. Characters are your avatar represented in game. Pick one of those super soldiers and change out camos, hairdos, hats, glasses, armors, and more. Primary weapons range from many of the popular selections, such as AK-47, MP5, M4A1, and a bunch of snipers, LMGs, shotguns, and SMGs. What's cool is that you have something like 7 areas of customization, such as different sights, bodies, barrels, lasers, flashlights, and some other stuff. Grenades and knives are relatively similar with a few various options to pick from. Primary abilities assist you in more passive ways, while secondary abilities get you kills. Skill sets unlock a skill tree to further differentiate yourself from other players. Whew, that's a lot. But what may surprise you is that line of sight is not, I repeat, is not pay to win. You can buy all the stat enhancement equipment and variations with gold gained in game. The other currency, diamonds, are paid with IRL cash and can only purchase cosmetic items. So fear not, players, you will not lose to others because they paid more than you. You lost to them because you suck. Line of Sight is astonishingly good. It has a relatively similar level of quality to a Call of Duty title, with the vast amount of player customization that makes most MMOs jealous. Granted, you might not want to migrate if you're already playing CSGO or some other major FPS titles, but if you're looking for something that's quick, fun, and free to play, then look no further than Line of Sight. I have been King Zakuri with MMOHuts.com, where you can find all the latest news, previews, and whatever else of your favorite multiplayer games, and thank you for watching.